With my sense of direction, I wouldn't last 10 minutes in this maze. Today I'm going to be reviewing The Maze Runner, starring a bunch of guys I never really heard of before, and that one dude from Game of Thrones who also looks exactly like Link. I cannot get Zelda out of my head the moment I see him on screen. If they make a Link movie, he has to star in it because it's just a spitting image. Also, that dude from Chronicles of Narnia and We're the Millers is in this. You know, the guy with the Grim Reaper eyebrows? Yeah, he's in this movie too. Now, The Maze Runner is about a group of guys who get placed inside this big circle, and within this circle, there's this huge maze, and once a month, a new guy is introduced to this group. He doesn't know where he came from. If anything, he only remembers his name, and he has no idea why he's there, why he's been placed there. They just have to try and survive. Now, they're not actually in the maze the whole time. There's the maze, and then on the outside of it, there's a small little forest and a society that's going on within the guys, and they all have their own roles. Some of them are farmers. There's the leader, played by Grim Reaper eyes, and there's also these runners who will run into the maze during the day, memorize it, map it out, so that one day, hopefully, they can find their way out to the other side. But going into the maze is very dangerous, as there's these biomechanical scorpion-like things that can sting you and you basically slow die, or they can just crush you and just kill you straight up. So really only runners are the ones that will dare to go in there because they're very fast, they know the maze off by heart, and it's kind of crazy because the maze switches up as well. It's not just one set maze. Every day it switches so that you can never really memorize it until you know all the different types of mazes that can be built in this one maze. I don't know if that made sense, but hopefully it did. And this is where our conflict happens with our main character, because he doesn't want to just settle on living in this place. He wants to be free. He wants to get out. He wants some answers. But the majority of the guys that are already here are already set in their ways. They're happy with where they're at. I mean, I wouldn't say they're happy, but they've kind of settled down. They're like, you know what? We've stopped trying. We know what works. Don't fuck around with anything, because if you do, something bad's going to happen. Just follow the rules and everything will be okay. But of course, our main character doesn't want to follow the rules, and then there's a girl thrown into the mix, and that's where everything changes. And I totally feel bad for this chick, because it's a bunch of guys who are pretty much fapping every day thinking of a girl, and a girl comes up and she's the only one there, and I can just imagine what all these guys are thinking. Yeah. Now, I don't want to talk about the plot anymore because I don't want to spoil it for you, so let's talk about the movie itself. The opening scene was fantastic. It really reminded me a lot of the Hunger Games. You know, in the Hunger Games, when they're all coming up to these tubes and they're getting ready to fight each other? Well, it was sort of the same thing here, where he was coming up in this elevator and it was very dark, there was these flashy lights, and it made the viewer feel like you were going into the unknown just as much as this character, and I have to say, I really, really enjoyed this opening sequence. The action sequences in this movie are very well done. They're running from these big scorpions. Also, the maze itself is an enemy. Walls can come crashing down. They start squeezing in. It becomes very claustrophobic, and they're like going through these little tiny spaces, and I'm going, oh shit, they're gonna get crushed. And it really keeps you at the edge of your seat. And there's been definitely a couple times within the film where I'm literally like clamping my fist going, oh my God, this is really intense. Hey, kudos to the film for doing that. Not a lot of films, especially in this type of genre, can really get me excited and get me worried for these main characters. I can't stand films where you never feel like the main characters are ever in any trouble, and whenever they go inside the maze, you know that there's a chance that somebody's gonna die. The only negative things that I can think of is when they were filming these action sequences at night, and I know that it's dark out, they're in this maze, you're not supposed to see much, but it almost felt like the director was using this as a crutch to not put in as much budget into the CGI. So like, it was very dark, you couldn't really see what was happening, and there was a lot of these close-up shots, and it became very tiresome to see. But the action sequences that they had during the day, when you could really see these scorpions, and you could see the beautiful cinematography, like the shots that they were doing, these wide shots of the maze, was just something to look at, and I wish we would have seen a little bit more of that. And I know that, once again, it's nighttime, it's supposed to be dark, but at times it really just felt sloppy. But overall, I was blown away by the action in this film. Now, I know what some of you guys are thinking, holy tits, Jeff, you really enjoyed this movie, and I did until the last 10-15 minutes, and it was just cringeworthy. I mean, holy tits, they had so much going for them, and I'm sure that this movie will do well in the box office, but man, the end twist was so bad. It was so bad, and the worst part about it is the movie thought they were super clever. I can guarantee that the writers or the director or whatever was like, ha 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 ha, bet you didn't see that one coming. No, I didn't see that coming because it was fucking stupid. Seriously, it was that bad, and I don't think it would have affected me so much if I didn't enjoy the movie leading all the way up to the end. I seriously thought that The Maze Runner was going to be another novel to movie adaptation made for tween girls who's going to drag their boyfriends into the film, make them pay the $50 for a couple IMAX tickets, a popcorn, and a pop, but don't worry, we're going to get laid at the end of the night. No, it wasn't that at all. I enjoyed the hell out of this movie leading up to the end, and I still got laid at the end of the night. I did pay $50 because the IMAX tickets were like $38 for two of them. Holy shit, they're expensive. I have to say, I was gonna give this film a holy sweet tits rating, but I can't do that after the twist at the end of this movie, so I'm gonna have to settle with a higher end, not Bad Dot Jpeg. So, what did you guys think about this film? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Are you going to go check out The Maze Runner? What did you think about the ending? Without spoiling it, in the comments below, give me your thoughts, if you liked it or if you didn't like it. Anyway, guys, I'm going to have lots of reviews coming out for you over the next week. Hopefully you're enjoying them. If so, hit that like button, subscribe, and of course, stay Bouse.